Shir Lamalo says so you know you'll hear him and Yavo Israel. As we may him Adonai, O say Shamayim
One unique aspect, one of the many characteristic of the Posek Hador Rav Yosef. I even heard Rav Shmuel Orbach and Shari Chesed refer to him as the Godol Hador. He said once in the Shmuz. And this is the son, the oldest son of Rav Shlomo Zalman Zatzal. So I had a Chavrusa once, a Rosh Kollel, who was very close with Rav Azriel Orbach. And he said that when Rav Azriel Orbach married a daughter of Rav Yosef, so he says, it's very difficult to impress a Rav Azriel Orbach. When you grow up in the house of Shlomo Zalman, it's got to take a lot to impress you. And he said that Avalda, his father, was a Gaon Nifla, was a Gaon Otzim, the renowned Rosh Shlomo Zalman Orbach Zatzal. But he said that part of the uniqueness of his Shver, of Rav Yosef, is that he never understood what it meant to know all of Daled Chelkei Shulchan Aruch with all of the Nosei Kelim, Kamat Mila v'Mila Bal Peh. He says that's Rabbi Yosef, mamish all of the Nosei Kelim on Daled Chelkei Shulchan Aruch, word for word Bal Peh. I mentioned in the past a story of Shlomo Warman, who was a Maggid Shir for many years in Hank. He wrote a number of Sfarim called Sheiros Yosef, many volumes. He wrote Oros Yemei Arachmem, Oros Yemei Asukis, wrote a slew of Sfarim. When he came out with the first volume over 30 years ago of Sheiros Yosef, he sent it to Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef was a little more accessible then, and you could send him a Sefer as well, and he sent to Rabbi Yosef the first volume of Sheiros Yosef. He visited him about 10-15 years after he had sent him the volume, and he introduced himself. This is 10-15 years after he met him, and he introduced himself, and he said his name is Shlomo Warman. So Rabbi Yosef right away said, you wrote Sheiros Yosef, you sent me 10-15 years ago a Sefer. He says, I have a few horrors in the Sefer. He says, the Pella is not simply that he just heard the name Shlomo Warman. He says, imagine how many hundreds, how many thousands of people are sitting Rabbi Yosef's Sfarim every time they come out with a new Sefer. He says, Rabbi Yosef even said, there it is in the top shelf back in the corner, and he showed him where he had the Sefer, but that it was going back 10-15 years, and he remembered not only that, but going back 10-15 years, that he would have the time to read the Sefer of this, at least from the perspective of Rabbi Yosef, an unknown Talmud Chacham. He had no clue who he was, and he sends him from America. He sends him a volume of his Sheiros Yosef, and he goes through the Sefer, and he remembers just by hearing the name of the Mechaber that 10-15 years later, remembers Shtiklich, Simonim in the Sefer, and he has Haris, and he remembers the Haris, and he tells Shlomo Warman the Haris. That's part of the Galus of Rabbi Yosef. But it's not just his Koach Zikaron and his Tfis on Daled Chelkei Shulchan Aruch, but we know we need Zekanim like that because of their Hasamada as well. Rav Eli Oman in Derech Sicha, when he asked Chaim Kanevsky, is there anyone alive today that we can make the bracha Shacholak Mechachmosi L'Reyavan with Shem and Malchus? Chaim said, the Lashon he brings in the Sefer is Yitochen, you could say it on my Shver. Someone else told me that he asked Rav Chaim said, Vada, you could say it on my Shver. So Shmuel Kamenetsky says, Vada, you could say it on Rav Chaim as well. And Rav Aaron Leib Steinman, V'chulei, but Avada, Rav Yosef, Rav Chaim Kanevsky himself says, you could say, Shacholak Mechachmos L'Reyavan is Shver. As there's a Maisa, and then a Gevir from the States came, and he went into one of the Gaboim of Rav Yosef years ago, and he said he came all the way, and he gives a lot of money to the yeshivas, V'chulei. Can he go in and see Rav Yosef? And the Gabai said, Rav Yosef isn't feeling very well. He says, I'll tell you what though, he's learning by himself, but because he came all this way and you help us out so much, I'll tell you what, I'll let you watch from the window and you can just watch him learn. So this Gevir went and he just watched Rabbi Yosef sitting and learning. And this is, remember, the Gabai told him he's so ill that he can't be makabel any visitors. And he's not taking any visitors today, but he has the time, a little bit of time to sit and learn. The Gevir watched him from the window for 3 hours straight, learning Bahasmoda Rabba Be'atzuma, not taking his head out of the Sefer once. So he's not feeling well enough to be makabel upon him of any visitors, no Kabbalat Kahal, but he was able to learn 3 hours. The Gevir said, it would be sufficient if I would just go and see this. I'm ready to go back. And now we see what Hasamada is all about. I mentioned in the past that Rebbetzin Kanevsky, Batsheva Esther, Zechron and Levracha, when she was asked once, who's a bigger masmid, your husband or your father? Difficult shaila. I don't know who had the chutzpah, who had the audacity to pose that to Rebbetzin Kanevsky. Who's a bigger masmid, your father Rav Yosef or your husband, Rav Chaim Kanevsky? That she answered, my father's a shtickle bigger masma than my husband. Can you imagine? She said, Rav Yosef was a shtickle bigger masma. He said, Ma pesha hadvarim, what's the kavanas ha'inyan? So she answered, she says, well, Baruch Hashem, they all have hundreds of einik lach. And Baruch Hashem, she says, my husband Rav Chaim, he knows the name of all his hundreds of not only grandchildren, but all of his great-grandchildren. She says, well, my father, he doesn't know all the names. He's a bigger masmid than my husband. Such a masmid, he doesn't know all the names. Again, it's a different world. You have to know l'shvach. That's Rabbi Yosef. That's his asmonis HaTorah. No matter how he's feeling, that's Rabbi Yosef Shalom. What's a pshat a masmid? Miloshin Karban Tamid. That every day, day in and day out, no matter what. In the Sefer the Chazon Ish already saw it years ago. That's the Shver Chaim Kanevsky. That's what we have to be masmala for. Rabbi Yosef Shalom, Chaim Ushal, Refuah Shalema, the Kar of Mamish, V'Sol Shal Chol Yisrael. We should be Zaycha, V'Harei Neinu B'Sor Secha, as the Kvega writes, and the Gresayfrim, that Harei Neinu B'Sor Secha, the Makasha, we say day in and day out, and Abba Rabba is going out Tamidei Chacham in the door who are called the Einei Ha'eda. The Harei Neinu B'Sor Secha, you should light up those Einei Ha'eda, Eineinu, those Tamidei Chacham, those Gedolei Manhigei Ador, whom we need so much, who are so crucial to the godless of what this door is all about. Harei Neinu B'Sor Secha, and Ruach Kodesh Tika Chamenu explained to Chaim Kanevsky and Darasicha, those Balei Ruach HaKodesh, Chacham Odef Minavi, Bavamasa Dafid Beis, the Balei Ruach HaKodesh, the Poskei Ador, the Gedolei Ador, Atika Chamenu, do not take them from us, because they are the Einei Ha'eda, or they're the Einayim, they're the Chacham, and they're the Manik, the door, that lead us in the right direction. You should be Zech, Refuah Shalema Makarov, Vetch Hashem will be Mamshech, the Breitera, Schus Refuah Shalema, Rabbi Yosef Shlita.
Rifoeinu, Hashem v'nei rafeh. Hoishienu v'ni v'ashaya. Oy ki zilaseinu ata. Say